So this video was supposed to come out ages ago, but due to Christmas, New Year's, school, and other things, it just got sent straight down to the shadow realm of the bottom of this list. Let's forgive and ignore that and get on to the main topic at hand here, the second Five Nights at Freddy's movie. So first off, very happy to actually get a sequel to the FNAF movie, as there's a lot that can be explored in this universe that would be great for movie content. So a sequel was appropriate.
What's also nice is that it was released a bit over 2 years after the original, so it doesn't feel like it was an eternity to get this movie. I really don't like it when we get a franchise where like the first movie took place and then 7 years later we get a sequel, or when two movies of a franchise that are like 2 years apart, and then the third movie's like 10 years later. Like seriously, that's poor lads. For this movie, I feel the short years gap between the first and the second movie further added to the hype that was building up for this movie, and there was a lot of hype around it. The only issue with such hype, it may have increased the expectations of many people, which is probably not for the best because I think many were expecting this movie to be a proper horror movie. The reality is that people like the FNAF franchise for the lore, the spectacle, and the music rather than the horror. At least that's my view of the fan base. In this sense, the FNAF 2 movie fit these categories perfectly. The lore was extended in this movie, and it was done such a perfect manner. For spectacle, the animatronics look fantastic, and the music, once again, they used fan-made FNAF song in the credits that was good. Also, despite what I just said, the horror in this movie was indeed better than the last movie, but nowhere near the heights of actual horror movies, but it still presented a chance of competition. It was great in the way a good Marvel movie is. It's a fun time with decent enough writing, good acting, and good spectacle. However, something that felt off about this movie compared to many others I've watched is that it didn't really feel like a movie. It felt unfinished in a way. And I don't mean it was bad. No, it wasn't bad at all. It was great. It just felt off, if that makes sense. After the starting scene of the movie, the beginning of the story takes place around 2 years after the first, and it starts with Mike and his friend unpacking boxes into what seems to be Mike's new house. Apparently, what's happened between the events of this movie and the second is that the murderers and the animatronics surrounding the fast food franchise has become an urban legend, and a new event called Fast Fest has been created by the people. Honestly, this might be the most realistic thing in the whole movie. Like, if the events of FNAF actually happened, some kind of conference or festival or internet urban legend would be created around it. Like, I can just see it now of, like, Freddy becoming a Slenderman figure. So, does anyone remember Slenderman? Like, I've asked my friends a few times, does anyone remember Slenderman? I think Slenderman's become forgotten. Anyway, that's off topic. Anyway, the movie at the beginning reveals that the original Fazbear Pizzeria was where another child had once been killed by William Afton, and that was Charlotte. Now, Charlotte is an angry spirit because that was the last emotion she was feeling, and more specifically, she's angry at all adults. So when she manipulates Abby into freeing her, she goes attempting to kill all adults. This plan fails, and the animatronics she controls all get jumped by the original animatronics in a weird Avengers pull-up style. After this, the movie ends with Charlotte possessing Vanessa, and the movie ends there, with the post-credit scene having three Egypts take William Afton's rotting corpse out of the pizzeria from the first movie. So this ending for me really made this movie as a whole feel like an unfinished movie. The reasoning for why the movie ended like this is because they're setting up things for a third FNAF movie, which I am excited for, but this second movie just felt more like, I don't know, the middle of a bigger movie. Not necessarily that's a bad thing, but definitely stands out. Aside from that, though, as I've already said, the animatronics look great in this movie. And speaking of which, there are indeed a lot of animatronics in this movie. Unfortunately, Balloon Boy has became an animatronic, which, as viewers of my review on the first FNAF movie would know, I despise Balloon Boy. He is very high ranking on the list of clankers I hate with a passion. However, clankers in this movie, which I didn't hate as much, were the Nightmare animatronics. These guys looked awesome and game accurate. I just wish we got more content with these guys, but at least I predicted correctly what would happen when these clankers were presented on screen. You see, in my prediction video, I said I hoped we would get more FNAF 2 gameplay in this movie, and sure enough, we did. Wish we got more of this gameplay, but the amount we did get was pretty awesome. Another thing in this movie I wish we got more of was William Afton, which we didn't get a lot of William Afton in this movie. We got like one nightmare scene with him, and that was great, but that's about it. The villain of this movie, aside from Charlotte, is Michael Afton, the son of William Afton, and unfortunately, Michael is not living up to his father's legacy. I really did not like Michael Afton in this movie. He felt like a worse version of William Afton. However, that's about it. Overall, I would give this movie a 7.5 out of 10. It's still pretty good, but some elements in it drag it down slightly. Anyway, that's all for now. Please subscribe, and until next time, God bless.